Okay, guys, this is what you need to set up a freshwater aquarium. You're gonna want your substrate so the bacteria can colonize and stuff, and it just helps out. I mean, you can do bare bottom tanks, but I've never had any real success in bare bottom tanks personally. Yeah, obviously you're gonna want the tank itself, a stand, so that way it's more up to your height, so that way you can look into it. Like, here's my eye level right there. So, yeah, I just look down just a little bit and it's perfect. It's a 33-inch stand, and it's a 21.5-inch tall tank. It's 55 gallons. You're going to want a filter, so that way you can remove all the particles and debris and waste. You want to remove all the waste and everything, so yeah, it's just going to make your water a lot clearer, and that's where bacteria can colonize also. And you're going to have your chemical filtration to remove like the smell and the discoloration, which would be your activated carbon. You're going to want a heater if you have tropical fish. Most of my fish are tropical, for the exception of a couple goldfish. They're all my sister's goldfish, except for that biggest orange one, that's mine. I have a 200-watt heater on this 55. I think it's right up to like 65 gallons. It's by Fluval, as you can see right. I know you can't see that. You can see right there. You're gonna want a wave maker if you have a lot of fish, just to mix up the water and to give some circulation to the tank. It's gonna help oxygenize it along with the air stone, or you're gonna want an air pump to power the air stone, but you're gonna want both of those if you have a decent amount of fish, or if you have like active fish like African cichlids. They like to swim into flows, so you're gonna want like a circulation pump or power head for water movement to give them something to swim into. And also mix up debris from the bottom of the tank. I like that, so that way it doesn't settle, and that way it's free floating in the water column. And I know you're probably thinking, why would you want that? I want that because I have a bunch of filtration on this tank, and the filters will eventually suck it all up. Like, I haven't done a water change on this tank for a week and a half, roughly, maybe a little longer, and it looks really good still for being how overstocked it is. To water changes, you preferably gonna want to do a 25 to 50% water change. It just depends on your personal preference and how much bio load you have. Like, when I do water changes in this tank, I do about 50 to 60% water changes. Just depends on how much debris is in the gravel, because the more debris in the gravel, the longer it's going to take to get from one side of the tank to the other. So usually it takes about roughly 50% of the water to do the whole vacuuming of the gravel from side to side. And then the gravel obviously is free of debris, and it won't make the water cloudy or anything, and it's more healthy habitat for your fish. Yeah, habitat. I don't know if you would call a aquarium habitat. It's more like a kind of, I want to say no, I can't say ecosystem, but whatever. You kind of get my point, I guess. If you don't know, well, whatever. It's not. You're going to want a thermometer to make sure your temperature is at the right, and to make sure your temperature is right, so that way your fish are living in the ideal temperature. It's like goldfish, you want it like maybe 75, 76 at the max, maybe like about 68, 70 lowest. Tropical fish are going to want, in my personal opinion, about 75 the lowest. I think they can go down to 74, but in 75 the lowest, in my personal opinion, up to about 82. But remember, the higher the temperature, the less oxygen is going to be in the water, because the more it diffuses. Talking about oxygen again, you're going to want surface agitation. This tank isn't a good example of it because the water level is a little too high above the rim, and my filter is a bigger filter, so I reached far into the tank. But like with this tank, it has good water movement, and it's going to add a lot of oxygen to the tank and everything. You can also, on these power heads, they have these little knobs or tubes. If I can even do it with one hand, I don't think I can. Nope, I'm not going to be able to twist it with one hand. Let's see. There you go. I just have like a little air tubing with a little check valve or whatever, and then the power head will shoot air into the tank. So, yeah, and the fish will appreciate that. But it also will add micro bubbles. Like air stones won't do that unless you have like the micro air stones or whatever. But yeah, I don't usually have my air on just because, as you can see, it pops up and gets on the light, and that's just a bad situation, which is why I was off. Until I get my lids for the tank. This is a new tank anyways, that's why I don't have them. It was used. You can come with them. So yeah, you're going to want your heater, your filters, you want your substrate, and you're going to want your hoods and lights. Lights, depending on if you want plants or not, will depend on what kind of lights you'll get. You can use LEDs. You're going to want brighter LEDs, like Marineland Double Bright LEDs, or Marineland plant capable, I think they're called, or something like that, LEDs, if you're going to go with like LEDs for like planted tanks. You're going to want, if you don't have a plant, you're going to just want like a simple T8 fixture, or you can do like double bright or single bright LEDs. That's a double bright system over there. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, you want your lids that way your fish don't jump out of the tank, that way the water doesn't evaporate that fast, and so nothing will fall into your tank that shouldn't be in there. You're preferably going to want a power strip. It makes water changes a lot easier. You can just flip the one button down there, and you can turn off all the power to the whole tank, and so you can just go through there with the gravel vacuum, prime the filters by putting the water back in them, and flip the switch, and everything's good to go again once you fill it back up. So, yep. Yeah, you're going to want a gravel vacuum too, though. I have a bunch of them. Let's see if I can show you one real quick. Yep, there's my gravel vacuum right there. Then there's another one back there. And then there's some more over there. There's the bulbs I use in my 55-gallon I call it Bluegill tank. 10K Coral Life T8 bulbs. 15 watts. So, yep. If you have a 24-inch light, that's a 24-inch light or hood, whatever you want to call it, you're going to want an 18-inch bulb. So, yep, it's pretty darn bright. It hurts your eyes to look at it, so pretty bright for a T8. It's a 10K daylight bulb, though, so that's why. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope this helped you. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Adios. Don't forget to subscribe.